Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 12th episode of the Potato AM podcast, brought to you by Middle Nowhere Entertainment. I'm BumpyRug. You can find me at Instagram at BumpyRug, twitch.tv/BumpyRug, and sometimes on Twitter. Not really. I haven't been on there in like 4 months, honestly. It's at RugBumpy.
I am Raveneff. You can find me on twitch.tv/Raveneff, and then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Raveneff0_O.
I'm AngryPig You can find me on Twitch at AngryPigXX, YouTube at AngryPig, or you can catch me on Facebook at AP3D Print Lab, where I make 3D printed models such as this and everything back there on the shelves. This is my little shop I have going on.
So, as far as this episode goes, it's just going to be a discussion episode. Not really any main topics, but kind of just a bunch of stuff that we're going to go through and talk about. We got a lot to cover. Hopefully we can get it within the 45-minute time frame that we always set, but we never seem to make, except for I think we had one episode that we actually hit it.
I think was it the Call of Duty episode or the controversial games episode? No, it was the Call of Duty one.
It was the Call of Duty episode, yeah, which I'm very surprised that we didn't talk like 3 hours worth of that. But also, we do apologize for not recording last Monday. We were doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff and just kind of took the week off to collect ourselves and get a bunch of stuff done behind the scenes. But it was for a good cause. We can promise you that. Also, how about that new logo? It's looking pretty dope, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to get a sticker made of that one as well. Which, speaking of which, for the logos, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Das Nico-chan, who is also our Patreon supporter at Twilight Cupcake, I think her name is. But she made some handmade stickers for us. I'm going to show them up here on the camera real quick before we get moving on. So we'll probably do giveaways for these things and include them in our actual giveaways. Sorry for the light there. So that is our main logo. And then
detailed.
They are completely handmade. Here's Bumpy's logo.
I don't know who that guy is. He sounds like a loser though.
We still need logos for everybody else completely done and everything, so we'll have more coming along. But and then here's mine for my Twitch channel. So yeah, they're pretty sweet. Pretty soon we'll get Pig's logo done, and then everybody else that's involved on the other podcasts, and then like maybe we'll get one made up for our fantasy football league that we're going to be doing, and whoever knows what else. I mean, shit, I didn't even know they were being done, so that was a surprise to me. But I think they're awesome, excellent quality for being handmade. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I should try to get like the big middle of nowhere entertainment flag on this back wall right here.
That would be awesome.
What were those big sports stickers you could get for your wall, like the big wall vinyls?
The vinyl stickers.
That'd be
perfect for this closet behind me once I get it all organized and shit, or if we ever get to the point where we have an actual studio. Yeah.
Dude, I have so many flags just laying around my room. Like over here, there's a bunch, and then like stacked on my other PC, I have like my other flags that I need to like hang up along the wall.
Going to claim some land like back in the olden days, just slamming flags into the ground everywhere you go.
Yeah, dude, I got like the blue line, like the police flag, the thin blue line. I got the Illinois flag. I got a Romanian flag. I have Colorado.
Psych, this is the flag episode. Y'all got bamboozled.
It's fun with flags. Jeez.
So, going into it, real quick, there was a new Pokemon trailer for Sword and Shield. Love me some Pokemon. It really didn't show too many, like, new things. It showed some Pokemon that weren't really confirmed to be in the game yet, like Machamp, he's in it. Mimikyu, he's in it. Like, there was a bunch of them. But also there was 2 leaks of 2 of the starter Pokemon, which was Scorbunny, the fire starter, who's this little rabbit, and then there was a Grookey, who is the grass type kind of monkey with the stick. And supposedly their starters that got, their evolutions leaked. And I believe Scorbunny's gonna be like a soccer player. He's a firefighting type, shoots like flaming soccer balls at people, which I think would be kind of cool. That's probably who I'm going to pick as my starter, honestly. And then Grookey evolves into a rockstar drummer with this big like drum set. Obviously, it's all rumors and speculation until it actually comes out. You know how Nintendo is; they like sprinkle little details. A couple trailers. I think we've gotten like 4 or 5 trailers since the announcement of the game, and they just keep throwing extra stuff. Pat's go-to Pokemon he's going to be using, Roly-Poly. He got announced.
Dude, you're about to get me going on this fucking Roly-Poly shit
again. He's going to flip the table 5 minutes into the episode.
God,
but one cool thing they actually showed is for those of you who play the games a lot, certain Pokemon, when they get thrown out into battle, they have effects. Like Gyarados and Arcanine have Intimidation, where it lowers the stats of a Pokemon right off the beginning. Well, the new Galarian form of Weezing, who they showed, he's got like the stovetop hat and he's got smoke billowing out of him. His ability negates all abilities, period. Like, no abilities are used when he's out on the field, which I think is awesome. So if you've ever tried to use Earthquake on a flying type, you can't because they have the flying ability. That's not the case anymore. Levitate doesn't work. They can be hit by any type of moves. It was kind of cool. They showed some items like the ejection pack is an item you can put on your Pokemon to anytime their stats get dropped. Like if Gyarados uses Outrage, his stats lower after he's done with Outrage. Well, then that ejection pack item kicks in and it actually pulls him out of battle and throws a different Pokemon in place for him. So that's kind of a cool little item. Other than that, there's supposed to be a new trailer dropping in a couple of weeks. It's going to show the Fire Gym and some new Galarian forms. I think there's a Galarian Arbok and a Galarian Hoot Hoot form that they're showing. But yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, Hoot Hoot. Gen 2 Pokemon getting Galarian forms. That's what we've asked for. But I'm going to throw it over to AngryPig, talking about the new the VR that Steam's putting out.
Yeah, Steam's got a new, it's called the Valve Index VR kit. They have different packages ranging from like, I think like $500 up to $1,000, depending on what package you get. You get like the controllers, the base station, the charging ports, things like that. And then Node's working on Boneworks still for VR. And with the Valve Index, it has like finger tracking, so it actually like your fingers actually come into play when you're playing the game. It's got like on the front of the headset, it's got like sensors where it can like read like all your movements and stuff. It looks pretty interesting. I'll definitely be hopefully trying to pick up one of those, get more into VR gameplay. I've played like the PlayStation VR, like Rick and Morty game's a blast. It is so much fun to do. It's like one big like puzzle game where you try to figure everything out and then move forward throughout the game. And they have like, you start off by like picking like different game modes when you put like the disc in like the set, and then you actually like go into the game. And then they have like racing games, stuff like that. Race simulator build would be fucking phenomenal with this headset. Definitely in the future works.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome. I know we were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. I never really played any VR, like any newer stuff anyway, outside of like the arcades that had the VR games. When you told me it was $1,000, you know, my heart kind of dropped a little bit. But it's
no kidding.
I mean, it sounds enticing. Like you think about like with the finger tracking and everything else that it's going to have. Like, just imagine everything else that they could possibly do with it, all the different types of games that they can make, and the more fluid they'll be, the more in-depth it'll be and everything else. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully it comes down by the time I get a PC that'll be able to utilize it, you know. But, I mean, it sounds awesome. I do want to get VR. I would love to get PlayStation VR. It'll be a little ways down the road, but something that phenomenal. Yeah, I might have to check it out.
Yeah, if there's other VRs available, you have like the Vive and stuff like that. The Vive Pro,
yeah,
the
Oculus, yeah, things like that. They're usually right now I think they're right around like $300 to $400 for those. Right, this is just like they're the newest one, so of course it's going to have a bunch of like crazy new stuff on it compared to those where they've been out for a hot minute.
Right.
Now, with this one, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Pat.
No, you're good.
My question with this is, I know Oculus had one that came out that you don't even need to plug into the PC. Is that how this one's going to work now?
I'm sure there's different models. Looks like there's a cord on like from the pictures that I've seen, but they do have like wireless ones where you have like a charging station to charge it, and then you can move around like your room like freely because you're not attached by any wires. I think that's what the Pro is for those models, or their next model up.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised Xbox hasn't rolled out with their exclusive Xbox One yet, like PlayStation has.
I think they're probably working on it. They may be working on it for the next the Xbox Scarlet, I would assume.
I don't know. I mean, they had said before that they weren't all that crazy about the whole VR thing, but I mean, with everything else, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing something with somebody, Steam, Oculus, or somebody that's already got a headset out, since they are so focused on the Xbox console and the PC aspect of gaming, that they're trying to make everything into one. I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on some kind of a deal with somebody to incorporate it. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to develop their own. Mm-hmm. I think they'll buy somebody out, basically.
Yeah, or just use it, because like everything's Windows based, other than like PlayStation's, or it's like their own separate entity.
I will say what I was hoping for was that what the hell was it? The Microsoft Smart Glass or whatever the hell it was that they were doing at one point. I don't know. I don't know if they put the kibosh on that, but that's what I was hoping for from Microsoft. I didn't really want to see them with the VR because everybody's doing VR anyway. I wanted to see them with that Smart Glass thing. Like, that would have been awesome. But because like with the Smart Glass, if anybody remembers, they had like they had highlights of football games up, and then they had like all kinds of different things that were visible in these glasses. I would love to see them do to where, like, instead of doing a handheld system, to where they would do smart glass to where you can project your gameplay from your Xbox on your PC onto the smart glass, so that you can like sit back and have the smart glass on and sit there and play. I just think that would be something awesome to see. It's something that I think Xbox would be able to do, and probably the only company really able to do it because of their technology that they've already got with smart glass. But pipe dream, maybe, I don't know, but it was just an interesting thought to me.
Imagine wearing those driving.
Imagine
somebody would be the dumbass to do it, just like the Google glasses. Like,
gotta watch that Sunday night football game, man.
Right.
That's why they have TV mounts. Holy shit! That's why they have phone mounts for your car. And NFL on Verizon doesn't eat up data if you're watching the primetime games on there. So.
Oh, decent.
I do not. I am not saying that I have ever mounted my phone in my car and put it through the Bluetooth and had it playing a football game like on my way home from work or something. Never have I ever.
Dude, yeah. I'm with the same boat as you, dude. I had Hulu with the live TV that I would always watch Patriots games on. So like every Sunday when I got off work, those 3:05 games, my phone was on and it was like in my center console or somewhere, so I could at least listen to it while I was driving. But coming back from Colorado, watching like the playoff games and all those, like I had like it mounted in the truck on like the vent holders. It made my brother watching like all the playoff games, and it killed so much time on the way back. I mean, 15-hour drive really sucks when you don't have anything to do or keep you entertained, because everyone literally falls asleep in the car.
I didn't hear anything you said after Patriots. It's just my brain just.
Maybe I'll get one of those big Patriots flags to put in the back as well.
Oh, God.
That way you can see it every time we do a podcast.
Well, thank you for watching the last episode that Angry Pig will ever be on this podcast.
Oh, man.
Pat, you want to dip into Overwatch on the Switch potentially?
Yeah, so I guess yesterday, sometime recently, there was a listing that popped up with Overwatch case for the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how I'd feel about it. Like, I don't have a Switch or anything. I'll just say that. So, maybe I'm not really qualified to talk about it, but I don't know how I'd feel about it. Like, I just don't know if it would really be capable to run everything. I mean, it's gonna be it would be downgraded drastically, downscaled, everything else. But the thought of being able to play Overwatch on the go is awesome, but then you constantly need an internet connection because it's all online. I don't know. I mean, it's like this late into the Overwatch life cycle, where we're getting ready for the next consoles and everything. Like, is there really a point to port it over to another system? Is this a money grab? Are they struggling to keep their player base? Is this why they're looking to possibly do that? If they are doing it, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things like games adding battle royales late or last minute. Like, is it really needed on the Switch? It's just not. I don't know.
Are you telling me they're going to allow us to get mad not only in our own households at the drop in SR that we get, but anywhere virtually? Like,
yeah,
take the rage on the go. Is that going to be their campaign slogan?
Yeah, speaking of SR, god damn it!
Oh, here we go.
So everybody knows now that since we're on Overwatch, I just got to throw this out there. everybody knows now that they got the 222 queuing, right? The 222 roll queuing. Mm-hmm. So I went in as damage because I've always done damage. All right, Soldier 76, Reaper, whoever. Okay. I played my 5 placement matches. The lowest kills I had in one game was 33, 32, 33. All right. No, I'm sorry, 30 because somebody beat me out for the gold at 31 at the last second. The lowest game I had was 30 kills, 5 deaths. All right, the maximum deaths I had was like 9, but I had like 45 eliminations, I think, that game, and I had like over 20,000 damage. I got fucking silver. Can you tell me how, when I was gold every game except for the one in eliminations, and every game I was gold in damage and objective kill. Like I was gold in pretty much everything. A couple of games I was even gold in healing when I was playing the soldier because our healers were terrible. Like I think like 7,000 or 8,000 heal with soldier, and like our mercy I think had like 3,000, 3,500, somewhere around there. Like how in the absolute hell do I get placed in silver on that? That's it. What? I'm done.
Their SR system. Their SR system. It's always been fickle. Like, I mean, the first couple seasons, it was, good. It was good. But they've never actually come out and said, like, hey, this is how we score your SR. It's objective based. It's, elimination based. It's, whatever. They've never actually come straight out and said what their formula for it is, other than, hey, it kind of depends on, like, the last 10 quick play games you played before you go in and do your placements.
And it makes absolutely no fucking sense.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm 100% behind you on that.
Why would anybody ever make your ranking in competitive or ranked gameplay based off of your quick play, where people are screwing around, learning the different characters, jumping in to get some warm-ups going before they jump into the competitive matches or the ranked matches? Like, it just makes absolutely no goddamn sense. Like,
It's one of those things to where they need to be like, hey, we got this new 222 system we're going to put into play, but we're kicking everybody's SR to 0. You are starting fresh. We're just letting you know that if you used to play, a tank before we did the 222, you're starting from bare bones again. And then people would be like, okay, I have a no shit like base to work with from day one kind of thing. Right. Because even when I placed around the same place I was that I ended the season on, which was like high gold, low plat. That's where I've always sat. I mean, I've gotten up to like almost diamond, and then it just kind of went away. But there's been placements where, Chad, I don't know if you were with us when we did it, but we won like 8 or 9 games of placements in a row. And then the 10th game we lost, and we all got way lower than what we normally got by like 100 SR, and it just blew my mind. I didn't understand it at all.
I don't. Yeah, it pisses me off so goddamn much. Like, the best placement that I got was season 3, I think it was. All right, and that was one of my worst seasons for the ranked play. I got gold. All right, and I was like 200 points, I think, away from going up to plat. And I finished the season like 2 points away from plat, and it pissed me off because the season literally ended after I played the last game that I won to get up to where I was 2 points away. I didn't play it very much. And then the next season, I got fucking bronze, dude. Like, how in the hell?
Oof.
And yeah, I know. And I was like, okay, so I was 2 points away from plat, right? And now I play this, and which, granted, I did play a bunch of the quick play, and I was screwing around. I was using McCree a lot, and I was using Reinhardt because I was trying to get better with a couple of different characters instead of always using the same people. I always use Roadhog for tank, Lucio for heal, Soldier for damage, Reaper for damage. But I mostly use Soldier for damage. But like, I was like, all right, let me screw around and play with some different characters and get used to some new shit, right? So I go into my placements and I play a Soldier because that's what I felt comfortable with. And I was like, all right, I'm going to place good, and then I'll continue working, get ready for next season. Motherfucker put me in bronze. Like a shit bronze rank. And then that's when I started seeing that there was an issue with it where it was basing off your last 10 quick play matches or whatever. And I'm like, what in the actual fuck is this bullshit? So
well, and when you get stuck down in those ranks too, they call it the void, where you have to like scrape and crawl to get out of bronze, silver. Like, if you're not playing with a 3-stack of players who can boost you, like, okay, John, that's played with us a couple of times. He'll place like mid-silver, but we all get like platinum gold. We can, in a sense, carry him to the next rank. He's a decent player. He's not bad by any means. He makes good plays, good decisions and stuff. He just doesn't play it as much as we do, so he's not as skilled. But he can hang with the best of us on a lot of the time. And then John's problem is once we get on a winning streak and everybody gets off, he solo queues, and then that's where his SR drops. It's a team-based game. If you don't have communication with at least half of your team, you're not going to go very far. Very rarely will I get in as a DPS solo queue and actually start tearing stuff up. But I mean, the SR system's broke. We could do an entire episode on that.
We could.
There's a million things I need to change.
And I apologize for going down this rant, but I started talking about Overwatch and I started thinking about the 222 and then thinking about my rank that I got and then all the history and shit. And oh god.
Believe me, I'm there with you.
I haven't even placed yet. I think we played like 3 games that night. On the
yeah, I like the 5 placement. I do like how they made it 5 placement matches instead of 10.
Yeah.
But then you got
that was kind of nice.
Then you got plays for tank, damage, and support. So I kind of like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if that affects SR at all because you're only playing half the amount of games.
Well, I see that there it is again. We don't know what their SR formula is, which kind of sucks. I wish they would just come out and say, "Hey, it's for tanks, it says how long you're on the payload for. For DPS, it's how many eliminations you have. For support, it's how much heals you get done. It should be based off the medal system because if it's not, then your medal system is pretty much worthless. There's no point to it other than a little bit extra XP for how many gold medals you get. But anyways, moving on because we could be on this the entire time. Pig, you wanted to talk about the new Watch Dogs Legion?
Oh yeah, Watch Dogs. Legion's coming out or next year, but it's as you all know, it's open world gameplay. You get to run around and pretty much mess with anybody, hack anybody. But this new game compared to the others has the option where you can play as anybody, or you can play anybody you want in London. You can also recruit other characters that are walking around. You'll whip your phone out. It'll show you like the person, like some of the stats and advantages that they have, but it'll also show you the fact like that person might die at any given moment. Like, and also with that, you can change your characters anytime, like throughout the game. But the second that character dies, they're permanently dead. Like each character, you still have like your level system and your special abilities and stuff like that. But once that person's dead, they're dead. Can no longer use them. Some of the things from the trailer and stuff that I was watching, Ubisoft's like mechanics of driving are always a rough one for me. I don't know anything that Ubisoft has where you have to drive. It's not like is like fluent with like the controller is like Grand Theft Auto is or racing games. It feels very stiff and rigid and
just like actual driving.
It irks me. It feels like if they're going to put out such a great game, spend all this money on cinematics, they should focus more into the driving mechanics. If the game is if the game's open world and you can literally just jump in a car and drive around if you wanted to, like there should be like you should improve that. I feel like that's like one of the weakest points.
I do got to say that like from the first Watch Dogs when I played it, I hated the driving on there. Like it bugged me so much. Mm-hmm. I would go from playing GTA 5 to Watch Dogs, and I drove terribly. I would crash into everything and fuck everything up. But I think Watch Dogs 2 was greatly improved on the driving, in my opinion. Anyway, maybe I just forgot how bad the first one was because I hadn't played it in a while. I traded it in to get The Last of Us remastered, so because I had already played through Watch Dogs, completed everything on it. I played through the story like 1.5 times or so, and there was like nothing left to do other than the online stuff, which is all I needed for the achievements and stuff. So I was like, whatever, I'll trade it in. Which I gotta go back and I want to finish Watch Dogs 2 before Legion comes out. But I think my favorite thing about Legion, with like the whole permadeath thing, is like your characters can die at natural causes. Mm-hmm. Like the little old lady that was on that trailer from E3 that everybody loves. Like it's gonna fucking break my heart if I have her as my fucking one of my go-to people, and I fucking go to her and you're like, oh nope, she dead. She died of a fucking stroke or a heart attack or peacefully in her sleep, whatever, whatever kind of fucking alert it gives you when she dies,
Chokes on a bagel.
Yeah.
I loved it in the fucking trailer when she like hopped over the little fucking Jersey wall or whatever the hell it was with the fucking Desert Eagle in her hands and just fucking went up behind somebody and popped them in the back of the head, man. Yeah, but it's interesting. Yeah, I hope it lives up to the hype. I mean, Ubisoft, we all know, is one of those that hypes the shit out of their games. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to full release, like the first Watch Dogs, which I still loved, I'm not going to lie, I absolutely enjoyed the game. But it's quite disappointing versus what they were hyping up and what they were showing out. I mean, it's not a No Man's Skies type deal, but...
Oh, jeez.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I never played the first Watch Dogs. I watched a lot on it, and I liked the concept. But, granted, unpopular opinion here, it looked like Ubisoft trying to make their version of GTA, in a sense.
Yeah.
This, I like the multiple people. I wasn't a big fan of State of Decay, because it kind of has that same system of you get survivors, and you can, like, rotate in between the survivors and stuff like that. But I liked how they showed it in the trailer. That looked like a better system that I would actually like get behind my characters. Be like, okay, I actually care about this character. And, in State of Decay, I was like, you know what, go get me resources if you die, whatever. There's like a million of you out there, and go get, some more, whatever. And they don't, kind of like your characters were resources in a sense. And I didn't feel that way when watching the trailer. I felt like the characters actually had some story and depth to them. They had a background, and you actually had to do research on them before you recruited them. Stuff like that. I'm interested to see it. I might not pick it up on release day, but I might see if it comes up on Game Pass or something like that. I know Ubisoft's got their version of their Game Pass coming out, but
that's when I'll probably wait for a Black Friday sale next year. Like after it comes out, that's probably when I'll grab it. There's so much other shit. Although that Black Friday sale, the new consoles will be out around that time, so
my wallet's gonna be hurting.
Fucking right, dude. Overtime. Oh,
yeah.
God. Overtime.
Hey, that's what they make credit cards for, right?
Yeah. Checking credit cards out to pay for credit cards.
Yep.
But next thing we're gonna roll up on was Apex.
Oh man.
I've said it since the first episode we ever did. I have tried to defend Apex every step of the way, and it's like, you know what? They're in a good spot. They're in an all right spot. And then I wake up and I check the newsfeed, and it's like, you're making it real hard to get up there and defend you guys. Like, it's really hard now.
Right.
I mean,
see, like the whole debacle. All right, it all started with the whole crown thing for this current event that's going on, which I think is stupid. It's kind of bogus. I get what people are saying about it, and then I'll let you lead into everything else. But before we get 100% started, I gotta say I agree with the Apex devs on this one. Like, to an extent, with the whole situation, I agree with them, man. And you know why. I mean, I've voiced my opinion on here, and I go on my little rants, so I think you can understand and see why I agree with them and side with them on this, but I'll get into that when you get there. I'm just stating ahead of time that I agree with them, and I might offend some people, I might not, but I'm going to be blunt, so, yeah.
I agree with them to an extent. I don't agree with how they expressed it, because you still, granted, I think it was on Reddit, this whole thing kicked off anyway, so it's like Reddit's kind of it's a playground, anything goes, who cares? Oh, yeah. But, you know what, I don't blame the devs for being like, okay, you know what, you guys are a bunch of freeloaders and asshats. Like, I don't blame them for saying it, and then everybody gets all offended. I don't agree with them trying to, you have to spend $7 to get a care package or one of the loot ticks to get, potentially an item that you want. That's kind of horseshit for a free-to-play game. Hey, here's an event. You can get these crowns, but you can't use the crowns to buy the packages, just some items. but you need to grind out a lot of the crowns. That's horseshit. I shouldn't have to spend extra money in game on your event to potentially get this stuff. Like at least in Overwatch with their Halloween and Christmas events, you can grind out the care packages. You can't do that for this event. You have to buy the care packages.
But do you need the item?
Well, obviously you need the item. I mean, come on.
Is it going to benefit your character?
No, it's all cosmetic, and like I get that. I really do. It's cosmetic. I get it. It doesn't change the game in any way, shape, or form. But come on, man. There's some weak-willed people in the world. I'm one of them, and I'm going to spend the money.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any of the care packages because again, I'm not spending $7 on a care package. But you make this really cool content, and then say nobody buys the care packages. Well, then you just spent all the money and resources to make this content that no one wanted, and now you're out of money. Like,
yeah. And, I mean, I do get that, and I understand that point 100%. I'm just happy it wasn't like a pay-to-win type ordeal.
Yeah.
But here's one thing. Apex is also a free-to-play game. Okay? Like Fortnite, you know, they're going to release a bunch of stuff. And, I mean, most of their stuff that I've seen, aside from some of the okay skins and stuff, like this Battle Pass, they definitely stepped it up.
Yeah.
I can understand where people are coming from for having an event going while the Battle Pass is also out, which you had to pay for to get the content that's in the Battle Pass. But again, like what, $10? I mean, if you're playing a game and you can't afford $10 for like 3 months worth of content or whatever to be able to unlock, you're in the wrong kind of hobby. All right, because $10 over 3 months is really not that bad for a bunch of these unlocks. Sorry if that offends you. I'm not intending to. I'm just being straight honest. Gaming is not a cheap hobby. Let's be real, okay? So again, if you don't have the $10, fine. But the whole $7 per care package thing to get some crowns or whatever, which I think they said like you get 30 crowns guaranteed per box or whatever. I understand that when everything was like 150 crowns, 250 crowns, 500 crowns, 1,000 crowns, whatever. I completely get that. But again, it's geared towards the players that are wanting to spend the money for a free-to-play game. All right, it's going to be exclusive content, and again, with them calling them ass hats, assholes, whatever, a bunch of freeloaders. I read the entire thing that they said, and they weren't like when they called them freeloaders, they weren't trying to put everybody in that context. They weren't trying to generalize. But there were people that were on the forums saying, like, oh, you know, it's a free-to-play game. We shouldn't have to pay for anything whatsoever. All the content should be accessible. In a free-to-play game, they want literally everything accessible to them immediately. Mm-hmm. That's what they're directing as the freeloaders. Because the guys that are like that, the girls that are like that, the boys, the men, the women, whatever you want to classify them as, that's just stupid. That's just ignorant and assholes right there, to expect a free-to-play game to give you absolutely everything for free. And then to throw a fit because they're releasing a battle pass that you got to pay for, to release content that's all cosmetic that you got to pay for. That's where the whole freeloader comment came into play. Okay, and that's why I say I fully side with them 100% on that. You know, so I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to agree with me there, but it is what it is. The dev loss is cool, rightfully so. I mean, their professionalism can only go so far.
No, I understand that.
No, and these devs are treated like shit regularly on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, everything else. They get so many comments, threats, everything else because somebody's not happy with an item inside of a game. Nobody is forcing you to play the game. Nobody's forcing you to buy the game. If you don't like it, move on. Go play something else. There's not a shortage of games out there to play. Quit your fucking bitching.
It's a free game.
Right. Like,
but the skin's just so cool. I'm kidding.
It's so awesome.
I mean, I get both sides of it.
It's so awesome. Spend the $20 on it. It's just for looks.
I get both sides of it. Like I get like the devs were finally like, you know what? Fuck it. Like we don't care. Like, you know, we made a game. It was downloaded by like what millions of people on like the day of release for free. Like they're probably not hurting for the money. It was just one of those things. It was something for people on Reddit to bitch about, and that's what people on Reddit like.
Yeah. So
Just spend the $20 on it, man. I mean, we've all honestly like bought like games that are like in the past is that are like $80, $100, and we've played them for a week and then threw them in a corner basically and said, "Oh, well, on to the next game. Let's see what else we could spend money on."
So I don't like how real you're getting about this, man.
Like Destiny.
Amelia or Suicide Girl just handed me a paper that she wrote on, saying paying equals developer support equals new better content equals happy players. On a free-to-play game, where do you think their revenue is going to come from? What do you think they're going to continuously be able to build? They can only do so much with ad revenue and everything else. With millions of players playing, stuff is only going to go so long on a free-to-play game with server upkeep and everything else. So that's my last little bit of that. Again, I could go into this for like a whole episode.
It's kind of like a version of like GoFundMe. Hey, we're going to put out a free game, but then we're going to drop content that you get. You pay money to us, and we're going to develop more content to you.
Right.
It pays for therapy services.
Yes.
But people are perfectly okay with going on to GoFundMe and pledging $150, $200, $300, $400, $500 for a game. I can remember a forum post coming out a while back when a game got canceled and everybody got their money refunded. And this guy was throwing a fit. Oh, I spent my rent check to fucking give to this game, and they're going to cancel it. Now it's going to be like 2 months before I get my refund or whatever. So you just spent your motherfucking rent money.
Dude. Pay your rent
on a GoFundMe.
Pay your rent.
I can't feel any kind of sympathy for somebody that does that. Like, maybe I'm an asshole. Like, give them $20. All right. Like, if you gotta walk to work for a week because you gave $20 to a company for a game, so be it. I mean, that's just having to walk to work. You know, whatever. Fuck it. You know.
Right.
But you spent your fucking rent money. He said it was like $450, $500. First of all, $450 to $500 for rent. That's not too goddamn bad. Just gonna say. But if you need to God, I'm see, my head is just fucking so spinning right now.
But did this guy realize?
It doesn't make you mad.
Yeah. Did this guy honestly realize though? Hey, this game's in development. You spent $400 to $500. That game might not come out for a few years. You might not see any payout from that money you just gave them for that amount of time, and he's getting pissed off because like a couple months later they canceled it and said, hey, it's going to be like 2 months till you get your money. That guy would have honestly never saw that money ever again regardless. So why is he getting pissed?
Right. Like, he's going to get the money back, but yeah. That...
You just bought them 2 really nice chairs with that rent check, bud.
Yeah. They're over there like, can your chair do this?
So moving on, we're gonna touch on the whole Spider-Man debacle a little bit here. So there's 2 sides of this here. One, Holland's got to be pissed off right now. Like, he's gonna be like, Am I out of a job? Am I working for Fox now? Or fucking Sony Pictures now? Like, because I don't know how that's gonna work. Because if he had a contract with Disney, Marvel, and then, you know, they said no, so Disney was like, okay, well then fine, he's just out of the cinematic universe for us. He can still do, I'm assuming, Sony's movie. Like, if Sony just said, hey, we're gonna put out Spider-Man movies on our own again, which they should not do. Could he still be Spider-Man, or are they going to have to recast for that?
I would think that technically yes, because Sony still owned the rights to it and everything, so I would assume that they had a say within his contract, you know, for all the movies and everything. The only thing that would be impacted is him being in any further Avengers films. Which should be the only thing impacted.
Weirdly enough, Universal Studios actually owns the screening rights, I think, for individual Hulk movies, but he is allowed to make appearances with Marvel in the Marvel MCU. That's why you don't see any Marvel standalone Hulk movies anymore. You only see him in the Avenger movies. So they might work out a deal where, you know, you'll still see bits of Spider-Man, but it won't be any more standalone movies. And I haven't seen the newest one, Far From Home, but I heard it was really, really good. You could potentially, like with Sony making the Venom movie, you could see maybe him show up in the next Venom movie, or
Venom would be fantastic.
I'm just saying it could happen, or even Deadpool. They own the rights to Deadpool. Could happen.
Yeah.
I know Ryan Reynolds tweeted it out to him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know whose side are you guys on this, Sony or Disney's?
Again, I'm in the middle because I think they're just both being spoiled freaking brats that are just flinging verbal feces at one another and just getting the fans all riled up over some stupidity.
But if you had to pick one.
Yeah, but if you had to pick.
Based on all the stuff that came out and everything, and I know people are going to say, oh, Sony bot, I'm going to have to side with Sony simply because Sony had a greater split on the movie income and everything else, but that's all they got from everything that I've read from their contract with Disney. Sony got the majority of the proceeds from what the movies themselves brought in, but then Disney got the money from all the memorabilia, all the merchandise, everything else, and like a bunch of the ad revenue that they gained and like a lot of that kind of stuff. So like by Disney wanting to bump it up to 50-50 but not give Sony any more money out of that, but they get 40% more than what they were already getting, because let's be honest, 90-10 is an unfair split overall for what it was. But again, when you're selling millions of shirts, figures, whatever else they're getting from this, that's a crazy amount that's going to be coming in, because not even everybody that went to see the movie in theaters is going to be buying shirts. You know, it's like there's a trade-off there. You know, a $30 shirt that Disney just got the money for is going to be worth more than that $5 ticket that Sony just got the money for. You know what I'm saying? So I get, again, that's why I say I get both sides. I get why Disney wants a little bit more from the movie itself, but I also get why Sony would feel screwed over. I want to see what the actual amounts were that they were getting from everything for each company. I would like to see how much Sony got net profit versus how much Disney got net profit, and then I think that right there would be able to give me a deciding factor on whose side I was on.
My logic's going to be a lot more simpler. I'm going to side with Disney because you sided on with Sony, and Sony makes PlayStation, which I no longer buy. And Disney's going to make some pretty awesome stuff in their park with that.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I don't think this is the end of I think, like, as far as negotiations, I don't think this is the end. I think it was really Disney coming to the table and going, hey, we want this, and Sony was like, no. So I think you're going to see Disney come back and be like, all right, listen.
I think so.
How about this? I wouldn't put it past Disney to buy out Sony. Like, all right, you don't want to give it to us? How much is it going to cost to buy you guys out? Oh, we're not for sale. Yeah, well, how's this amount sound? Like, I can see them doing that.
$1 million.
Yeah.
And see, like, here's the kicker about Disney, too, that a lot of people don't know, is if you research the networks that Disney owns, they own a lot of shit. Yeah. Like, people don't realize, like, I'm going to look it up real quick and see exactly what it is. But yeah, Disney is crazy on what they actually own. So it would not surprise me if they actually did.
Well, they own ABC television.
I could see in, like, the next 5 to 10 years, Disney's going to own a lot of major companies. Like, a lot of major companies. But
I did not know
80% stake in ESPN.
I did not know that they also have stakes in Hulu.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're coming out with their own streaming service and the Hulu thing. That's why I think ESPN is doing that deal with Hulu, ESPN, and Disney's streaming service. That makes a lot of goddamn sense now. I am an idiot because I never realized that, because I knew they owned ESPN. I knew obviously Disney. I didn't realize they owned Hulu or had stakes in them. So yeah, that makes all the sense in the world now.
They have 50% equity holdings with A&E, the History Channel, Lifetime. If I click on more items, I'm pretty sure I'll be surprised what I see.
Of course, you got.
It just turned into a whole episode on its own.
I mean, it really
Pixar.
Could be,
that's.
Well, yeah, Disney, Pixar.
Yeah, Hollywood Records. It says Vice Media.
Man. So yeah, like. You just think about exactly how much. Oh, Grey's Anatomy, one of the highest like grossing TV series in history. Yeah, so right there, I mean, that honestly, that's what makes me feel like Disney is just trying to flex their muscle.
Oh, definitely.
And have their way. I could see them wanting to go to like a 75-25, jump up 15% or something like that. Fine. But when you already own all this, like, it's not about struggling for money. It's because you want more. Simply.
And I think Disney got to the point where it was like, hey, you know what? We really don't need Spider-Man. Look at everything we've made for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We can do without Spider-Man, whatever. And then Sony's like, well, it's our property. It's our golden boy. It's better than the last 5 Spider-Man movies we've produced. But then again, Marvel was like, hey, we helped you make it what it was. You can't at least throw us a little extra. So I don't think it's crazy for Disney to ask for more, but I think the amount that they asked for was way over the line.
And that's, now, if they would have cut back and said, you know what, give us 50% stake from the movie, and we'll cut you like 15% or whatever from what we get for the merchandise.
Right.
Find some kind of way to balance it out. But all people see is that Disney wanted to have an equal share from the movie, and that's it. That's all they care about. That's all they see. They don't want to look at everything else that Disney gets from it. So, yeah.
Mickey Mouse has got deep pockets, man.
Oh, does he?
He got deep pockets.
Holy shit, does he?
Anyway.
So,
I was trying to look at like a huge chart of everything they own, and it's massive.
You just see fucking Pig just scrolling his wheel on his mouse over and over again.
Dude, I'm like zooming in and out on this. It's like in the shape of Mickey Mouse and
I'm looking at
the
exact same one. Are you looking at storage.google Apis?
Dude, I'm just looking at one of it just says like the companies Disney owns, and it has like Marvel in the top left. Then it has like Fox Entertainment Studio groups, and then it has Walt Disney Studios, and then like ESPN's like a corner, and it's huge. Then it has like all this other stuff outside the box, which I'm assuming is the companies that they own or bought into that are incorporated with other big companies. So it's like, hey, we're gonna make a bunch of little stuff and then start merging everything together. That way, like this big company has like part of our shit incorporated by this other group, so we own like this percent of like stakes in this company.
They have stakes in Sony ESPN.
I mean, it's smart on their part, because I mean, you get a little bit of everything. Like that's how a conglomerate grows, man.
But that right there tells you why I don't feel bad for Disney by any means.
Mickey Mouse will be president, man. It's gonna happen. He's gonna buy his way in. All right, so moving on. We're not hitting this 45-minute time gap. That was out the window like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, jeez.
But so moving on. This past weekend, we had the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Alpha. It was the I forgot what the game mode was actually called, but it was the 2v2 game mode, gunfight. Neff and I actually had the opportunity to jump on and play it for a while, and first opinion right out of the gate, I absolutely loved it. I loved everything about it. We didn't have, I mean, on my end at least, I didn't have any, frame drops. I didn't have any glitches. I didn't have Pig opening up a can. I didn't.
Dude, if you haven't noticed, I'm like subtly trying to open this Pepsi underneath my desk.
Just crack it open, man. It's just
I did.
A Pepsi.
I was like, I hope my mic doesn't pick this up while he's talking.
The new sprinting system was awesome. The mantling system was awesome. The recoil was realistic. I mean, I could go on and on and on. It was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. It didn't matter if I was getting, pissed off from a guy killing me, a split second before I could pull the trigger. I'd be like, man, that was that was bullshit shot. But God damn, this game's fun. Like,
yeah, I was sitting there raging so hard. Like, I know while we were playing, I was raging a bit because a few of the games that I had once we both were on, like, they were miserable. Earlier in the day, I was going really good and everything, and then later in the day, it was just terrible. But yeah, it brought back some good old memories, man. That rage, it got my blood pumping and everything else, man. I was excited. I was feeling like I was back playing Modern Warfare 2 again, man. But yeah. And why did we get to play the alpha? Why is that? Oh, because we have PS4s.
Thank you, Sony.
I hope Disney buys them out.
But no. Yeah. So with the 2v2 gunfight, like, I did not get bored of playing it at all.
No.
Like, I'm amazed because the first day there was only the 3 maps, and then they added 2 more maps going on. King, which was it was kind of like Kill House from Call of Duty 4. So like you had that big wooden structure in the center with the steps leading up to it, 2 metal containers on either side, and then 4 walls
Favorite
on
map,
each
man.
side. Dude, I absolutely loved King. It was awesome. I think my favorite one is probably Speedball and then King. Absolutely love Speedball, which is
Yeah,
like a paintball course. Simply because it was a bit more level. With King, if you got whoever got up to that center mat or center of the mat first, they won the round. Like you had to get lucky, like I did on a couple of plays. I got a couple lucky shots that I should have died on, but anyway. And then you had Pine, which was like a wooded area with a bunch of cars, containers, and then a spot on each side that you could get up to really quick and get a kind of over the map look slightly. Excuse me. Dock was one of the ones that they added on like the last day or two. That one I did not really care for that much. Excuse me.
nah, yeah, that was probably my least favorite next to Pine.
Yeah. And then which one was the last one? Stack. That one got added, I think, like on the last day. I don't think you got to play that one at all.
No.
Or it got added on Saturday. Sorry, not the last day. It got added on Saturday. But they showed that one during the reveal for 2v2 gunfight. And basically, there was a container in the center that was kind of off center, and then it had like another little wooden platform in the middle, and then it had some tires stacked off to either side, and each end had a little platform that they spawned up standing on and looking directly across. That one was another one where like it had some crazy head glitches on that one. That was my only issue with it. Like if you got up to the steps on one side, you could dominate if you didn't get flanked because you could just see everything, and that head glitch was annoying as hell. That was my only real complaint with the whole thing was that head glitch, to be quite honest. I did suffer from some lag a little bit here and there. But yeah.
I think probably my favorite part about it was the matches, even long matches, lasted maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes in, out, done. Best of 6 rounds, or whoever won 6 rounds ended up taking the win. And another thing I really liked is you think in a 2v2 match, okay, I got shot by a Desert Eagle, took like 50% of my health away. Well, then like you go down and now it's me against 2 guys. You'd think, okay, this odds are stacked against me. The ability to be able to clutch up at that moment is there. It's always there. And it was crazy because I think there was one round I had literally 5 health left and I ended up smoking both of them because I outflanked them, both of them. And I was like, okay, well, that was a good play. I'm not going to be able to do that again. And then 5, 6 more times, those situations happen to you and me to where I would go down and then you would clutch up, 1v2. It's not hard to do.
Oh.
So I really liked that because you're not like, oh man, I'm discouraged because I'm facing 2 guys now because my teammate's dead. You still have the ability to save the round in a sense pretty easily. And the fact that everybody's on the same playing field with spawning in with the same guns and everything, they gave you a pretty big variety for the alpha too. When we spawned in one time, we had the M13, which was their version of the AR, and it was the long barrel version. And then we'd spawn in another round with the snub nose version, which was changed. Barrel caliber was changed to make it an SMG. So we went from playing with the same weapon system that was a rifle to the same weapon that's now an SMG. And I really like that.
And it changed up the playstyle for that so much, like for just for the same style gun, but it changed up the caliber and everything. Because it added the recoil, noticeably added recoil to it. Because you noticed when you had it where it was the M13 with I think it had the extended barrel, the optic on it, like the ×2 optic. It seemed like that thing was a fucking laser. Like every round was straight on the money. I mean, you could pick off a headshot from across the map, no problem. But then as soon as you got it as the SMG, snub nose, different stock, grip, whatever, like you had
all over the place.
Yeah, like you had to really learn what that recoil pattern was. But that's why I think I didn't get tired of it at all. Like, granted, it didn't give us as many different styles or like varieties of the weapons that I think the full game will, because I'm sure that they had it just preset so you didn't see everything. But there were times when I didn't see a single gun until like the last day. Like when I got home yesterday, Sunday the 25th or whatever, it was still going. Like I finally got a couple weapons that I didn't get like the entire time, or I got a weapon that had a little bit of a different variety. Like I got the AK-47 twice when I got home yesterday, and I think I only got it like once the entire time
Yeah,
before.
we got it one time.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Oh, I do got to say, I take that back about my one complaint. The shotguns were really inconsistent for a couple of them.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I had a couple issues like that. The dual round break action, I got sniped from across the fucking map on Pine, and then I'm right up on somebody within like 3 feet, and I shot him in the chest. He didn't die. He shot me once when I had full health, and I died. So if it's all about the spread, I kind of hope they add little indicators like they have on Fortnite and some other games now, where if it has like 9 pellets, it'll show up in your crosshairs how many actually hit.
Right.
That would be great to me. But yeah, I mean everything else, and then I got to play a little bit of the 2v2, the gunfight OPS mode. I don't know exactly what the hell the OPS is, but you start off with no weapons. You got to run around and pick up your guns and your grenades, claymores,
it's
things
like
that.
classic. Yeah.
It got added in. It got added in yesterday. It was a ton of fun. Like there were some rounds when you would spawn in and there would be no gun directly in front of you. See, like the first few rounds, you spawn up and you can see a Desert Eagle or the M13. The M13 pistol absolutely fucking sucked. I hated it.
Hated that thing.
Garbage. Oh my god, dude. But yeah, so like you would spawn up and you would see a Desert Eagle directly in front of you, and then you go to your left or right, wherever there would be shotguns, assault rifles, SMGs, whatever. You know, different guns were laying around the map, grenades, claymores, all that kind of shit. So you'd run around and you pick up whatever gun you wanted. But if you took too long to get to a gun, you were completely screwed because you would have nothing except for maybe a pistol. Believe me, I ran up, I grabbed the M13 and I knew where an M4 was. I tried to run there and get it, or not M13, sorry, the M19. That was the worst mistake of my life because I got absolutely shredded. I got up there and somebody had picked up the AUG. And absolutely shredded me, man. It was no contest. I had the M13. I got like 2 shots on the center mass, and I think I took him down like 20 health. Like that's what pissed me off about that freaking pistol the most. But yeah, it's kind of strategic with that one too, because once you know where the weapons are, because it's kind of a similar spawn when they have the same weapons in, they rotate them out like every couple of rounds, just like they did with the original one.
But I noticed we got the Desert Eagle quite a lot.
We did. I love the one that had like the extended barrel. You know, like it went from like being your standard Desert Eagle in the game like this to like a fucking whopper like that, you know. Yeah.
It definitely had a CS:GO feel to it. Like in some aspects, like with sniping, when you guys spawn right across from each other and everybody's got sniper rifles, it's like, all right, who's going to be the one that pokes their head out first because they're going to get it taken clean off. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then we actually had a really decent play where there was a big concrete wall that we spawned in front of, or behind, and me and you ran up. I mantled one side. I don't know if you were mantled or not, but it was like, boom, I hit a headshot, and then boom, you hit a headshot. The round was over in like 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, I basically just popped out like off to the side. And was that one? I think that was the one that was on Pine, wasn't
it? Maybe. I don't remember. We played so many games of that, like they kind of all blend together. We were on it for a solid couple hours, and it was just like rolling in one game after another.
That's another thing that I liked about it too. How quick it got you from one game to the other, man. It was like as soon as the game ended and you got back to the lobby, it already had another lobby ready to go, and it was just pumping you into game after game after game after game. So I'm like, if you only got an hour to jump in and play, the 2v2 gunfight mode is perfect for that.
Because, definitely.
And we could probably play easily 10, 11 games within an hour span in no time, as long as like people aren't just sitting around and waiting for the overtime flag to pop up, you know. But if you play semi-aggressive, you'll get through the game in no time. I played one yesterday where I looked at my phone and it was 4 o'clock, and then when the game ended, it was 4:04, and we won 6-4. So like we went through 10 rounds in 4 minutes.
Jeez.
You know, yeah. So like it was awesome. It got sweaty too, man. It gets real sweaty.
Oh yeah, it's funny because, like you said, it's 5 minutes, probably the longest round, but it is like an anxiety tag for 5 minutes, and you're like, all right, no, we're cool, we're good, whatever. I'll crap back into it, and then like,
yeah,
it's fun though. Like even when we were getting like smoked in some of the matches, I still didn't care. Like, I was like, all right, man, whatever. I mean, this is still fun.
I mean, I was raging, but I was loving it, man. Like, it set me off a couple times, which I apologize to Izzy yesterday. Actually, Izzy's on the Crimson Mass podcast with us. But I was in a party chat with them, and Suicide was sitting to my left, I think. Or no, I was playing something else then. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, we were talking and whatever I was playing, and I was getting pissed off, and I was raging and everything. But yeah, I mean, it was decent. You know, it was a lot of fun.
I'm interested to see bigger, like in the beta, like bigger teams and how hectic that's going to be or whatever.
Absolutely, I cannot wait for the like the 20v20. Hopefully that's in the beta, and it'll be cross-play, so we can all play together the second week of beta. So that some of us that aren't handicapped by not having a PlayStation can actually enjoy.
I'll be on my PC then.
Oh God!
Oh, here we go.
If you're gonna play on PC, then I'm gonna have to hook my keyboard and mouse up to my PlayStation for it because yeah, I don't know. Well, you know, I say that, but there's been a lot of people that said when they played, more and more YouTubers have gotten invites to go out to Activision, and they've been doing a lot of the cross-play testing and everything just to make sure it is up and running. A lot of guys that are playing on console against the PC players, like PC players have came out and said that the console players were able to keep up with them, that there was not a whole lot of a disadvantage to them, surprisingly.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of impressed by that.
Maybe I'll do some Inception and play my Xbox controller on my PC.
Oh God. What?
Yeah, I mean, supposedly it's going to be like based on mixed inputs, such as like the way Fortnite does it. So if you play if you're on PC but you play with a controller, you get paired up with controller players. If you play with a keyboard on console, you get paired up with PC and keyboard players. So that's the rumor. So we'll see.
So if you get into games with controllers and then you just unplug your controller and use your PC,
you can't. It doesn't.
It won't let you.
No.
Once you start, like lock up your movement and stuff like that?
Yeah. Once you start, like if you join into the game with keyboard and mouse, if you try to switch to your controller, it won't register it.
Oh, you can use a duck hunt gun though. They confirm that.
I gotta get me one.
Yeah.
It's at the Reds.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see like what comes forth for it. Because even if they came out with like after the alpha, if they were like, hey, you know what, this Call of Duty is going to be a little pricier, we're going to put it up to like $80, I'd still pay $80 for it, hands down, no issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm super excited about this Call of Duty, and that's hard for me to say after the last couple.
Yeah, dude, like I literally got home from work yesterday, and I got my dogs, I let them out, and I literally ran up my steps, still in my uniform, my boots, my BDUs on, and everything. Ran up my steps, turned on my PlayStation, got it loaded up, got into a game, finished the game, ran downstairs, let my dogs back in, came right back upstairs, sat down, started playing it again, still in my uniform. The only thing I did was take off my shirt. That's the only thing I did. But everything else, yeah. I hadn't been jonesing to play a game like that in a long-ass time, man. It brought back so many memories.
And like you even made the comment too, because we kept playing it and playing it, and you're like, this is going to be that game where it's like, all right, one more game.
And then we did that. Game. Well, you did that. You're like, all right.
I did it like 5 times.
You're like, I'm only going to play till like 10 o'clock.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. That beta comes out for PlayStation on the 12th of September.
Yeah.
And then it comes out.
I won't get to play it though. You know, I'll be out of state. I'll be away. So that week, you guys will probably have to take the episode alone. Cause I won't be available. Yeah, so I can't wait, man. It sucks that I'm gonna miss that episode, but it's gonna be worth the miss. But
yeah. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But like he said, excited about it. We covered a bunch of topics tonight, a bunch of random stuff. We'll have a more linear topic here next week. But with that, make sure to subscribe to the video. Or like the video, subscribe to the channel, all our social media and everything. Look us up, hit us up. But with that was 12th episode. Pat, you got anything?
Just real quick. I completely forgot about it. So now we're on Buzzsprout. So you can find us on Buzzsprout at monepodcast.buzzsprout.com, and that'll link you to all of our episodes that are going to be on there, and that has unlimited episodes apparently. That you can store. So once I get everything uploaded, you'll be able to see our oldest episode on there to our newest for however many episodes we go. We're also officially on TuneIn Radio. We're back to Spotify with our actual artwork. Still waiting on iHeartRadio to get back to us. Still got to get iTunes set up. But yeah, we got a lot of things in the works and just hoping to keep it going. Yeah.
Dope. All right. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, make sure to subscribe, share the video, get us out there, buy us some, some of the fatheads we were talking about, throw them all over, throw flyers for us out your car window. I don't care, but get the word out there. But with that, I'm BumpyRug.
I'm Raveneff.
I'm AngryPig.
Thanks for watching.